Back with another Coyle's Calcio Corner. Myself, JJ Coyle, aka JJ Baggio, mio gran fratello, Owen Luciano.
Buonasera.
Aka Puponi. So yeah, episode 15 back. Obviously City won the treble and we're on the back of United going down 3-1 to Arsenal. Main focal point from my perspective, the Garnacho decision. Anyway, I'll see you to back in here chopping it up with you.
Definitely. Yeah, we're gonna look at United Arsenal. Obviously, still feeling a bit sore over that one. We'll touch on the start of the season. Look at the Ballon d'Or.
Transfer window.
Yeah, we'll dip
United's
we'll dip into United's transfer windows. We'll look at the Champions League. Obviously, that the draw for the new Champions League's out, so we'll look at that, and then obviously we've got to talk about Italy and Spalletti and Mancini. Grazie, So we'll definitely we've got to. It won't be a Coyle's Calcio Corner without Italy, and if we've got time, we'll look at Rubellas and maybe Adrian Durham. Yeah, what do you think?
See how we get on for time.
So today, obviously, United versus Arsenal. Give us your thoughts, JJ.
Well, just going down to the bare facts. We opened the scoring with Rashford. Fantastic piece of play with him.
Goal,
brilliant.
Go on, Marcus.
Straight from the kickoff within a minute. Equaliser, Martinelli cutting it back, and Odegaard did well. Took it first time.
Great
and
finish.
I think the two main players that I look at...
35 seconds, though, afterwards. What concentration levels?
The two main players that I look at for Arsenal are Saka and Odegaard. And what Odegaard's done well here is he's taken it early and he's been clinical.
Yeah, great finish.
I think Saka gets a chance later on in the game, just tries to make sure when...
He's got to do better there, I think, Saka.
He was playing it safe with the side foot.
He's in my fantasy team, though.
Yeah, he was playing it safe, though, with the side foot on target from close range when he has to be Odegaard clinical, and that's what Odegaard was for their
definitely.
Goal. And then in, I believe it was the 86th minute, Garnacho threw on goal Haaland, first of all, with the build-up, the cheeky back heel.
Loved it. What a great little cameo from Haaland.
Well, massive expectations. United, 2 wins out of the first 3 games, but looking shaky, and we're all waiting for Haaland. What's he going to bring to the table? I wanted Osimhen. You would have taken Kane.
Yeah.
These were the kind of guys we were looking for. And instead...
I would have taken Kane. Of course, would have taken Kane.
I would have taken Kane. We all would have taken... No, but we put our eggs in this Haaland basket.
Potential.
A player that's had, 20 starts for not a top-tier team in Atalanta, a good competitive team. But, his goal return is like a 1-in-2 type guy. But he's done it for half a season. What you want to see at United is a player that's not just done it for 1 season or half a season, but for 2 seasons, being the main guy and potentially a top team. So it's a gamble. But today we got our first sample of him. And for me, the way he was backing down his defenders, it was like Charles Barkley.
He was posting up, wasn't he?
He was backing them down. The back heel, the little flick onto Casemiro that led to Garnacho scoring a winner in a parallel universe where we have competent officials. Yeah. That little build-up play for our winner was fantastic from Haaland. And, obviously, I didn't really see the challenge again where he's gone down appealing for something. The cameras didn't show us the angles you wanted to see on the game. I don't know what these subscription prices are going on with. These subscription prices are hefty. And
it could have been a penalty.
I mean,
sure.
A couple of weeks ago, did you see Daniel Sturridge's cameo? Did you see that?
I don't really want to.
Oh, see, let's get funky with you. No, did you see Daniel Sturridge? With, look, at the end of the day, I didn't mind the dance. Yeah, and he was a good goal scorer, to be fair. Yeah, but when he started saying, let's get funky, I'm talking about the amount you pay for subscription, and he's talking about being funky, A, and B, we're not even getting decent angles. Like, I didn't get to see that decision again on Haaland. Can have some camera angles on that too. The offside, I'm still, wasn't he?
The offside changes it for me.
What I'm such for me,
we win the game if
there's no clarity on the angle, and where the lines are. It's not like with the when you look at the technology for goal line technology, and they show the 3D angle. It's unequivocal. He's either offside or onside. There looks like they're guessing. Looks like they're guessing the drawing. Felt tip pen that I do sometimes with a ruler. You know, when I was at secondary school.
That's what do you think of
like.
VAR though? What's your personal take on it? Because
I mean,
we've discussed this before, haven't we?
Yeah, the VAR thing. I mean, for me, VAR is definitely 110% not at fault for this. All VAR is doing it's allowing the referee another chance to see something that he might have not seen.
You've always said it. Have another look.
Just let him have another.
You've always said it.
Just let him have another look. Have another look at the situation that he's only had one quick view, and he might want to reconfirm something in his mind. But you know, like the VAR, the technology didn't draw them little dots on there. That, you know, they showed you the image again. You chose to make of it what you needed to. I mean, for me, it was unclear, particularly from the angles that they showed.
How about without the marker pen?
No, but
should he take a look, but without the marker pen?
Well, potentially, if someone's drawing it on there, because they're deciphering. But what I'm saying is, if you had better technology, then maybe we would have got a better view. But still, he's not given offside, and they want to double check. So for me, unless it is definitely offside, the goal should stand. Now, for me, I can't tell from them angles 100% whether that line that they've drawn,
absolutely agree.
You know, it's been manufactured, it's been manipulated. You know, we've heard recently about referees talking about
they're editing the video. That's what they're doing by showing their lines. They're actually editing it,
manipulating it.
Just show us the video.
We've seen recently, we've got referees coming out there saying that they don't want to send their mates to see some footage because they'll be under more pressure, etc. You know, this is it's a $1 million industry, billions spent in the transfer window, and for them to be having that kind of control and not just being able to objectively call things and see things. And I think there's look at the VAR. So we go back to Onana in the first game.
I just think with the VAR, just to wrap it up, it is just have another look. But I think when it comes to offsides like that, because I'm not seeing any metrics or what you see in NFL football where where it's unequivocal, where it's clear, because we're not seeing that. I just don't agree with it. So even if he's looking at them angles, the way that the lines are drawn on the pitch, it's not clear. So the benefit of the doubt should go with the attacker. Garnacho should get the goal. Now, if he scores, United win it for me. And then after that, it's all irrelevant because I just feel hard done by.
Well, I mean,
I think Onana should have probably done better. If we're talking to Onana, maybe he should have done better with the Declan Rice. Would David De Gea have saved that?
Yeah, I mean, I think the point you make in terms of Onana, could he have done better? I mean, I look at the two major points in the game. The save from Saka, I don't think he could have done anything about Odegaard's finish. But the save from Saka, it was straight at him, but it was the right technique. He's down there. The cricket technique,
it's the right technique, but what do you want, a cookie?
No, because he's kept it out. No,
I'd expect any keeper in the Prem to do that.
Great, but he kept it out, and that was one of their best chances. Now, I think the blame more goes on Saka than the credit to Onana. But then the goal from Declan Rice.
I love Saka, but he should be finishing that.
The goal,
he should be.
Absolutely. I agree. The goal from Declan Rice takes a deflection. So first of all, it looks like there's a foul in the build-up to stop anyone pressing Declan Rice. But then when he shot,
do you not think he could stop that from Declan Rice with the deflection?
Well, I think that doesn't make it clear cut. I don't want to see a keeper from that angle being beat at his near post. But the fact it takes a deflection, 2 yards away from him, he's got a hand on it, but he's not able to keep it out. I've seen enough good keeping from him under pressure in the Wolves game, all the way through to this game, where I don't want to blame him for that type of Can I ask you a question on
Onana? Would you have not have liked to have kept David De Gea there? I'm not saying not bring Onana in, bring him in, but have that competition for number one. I think Onana brings the best out of De Gea, De Gea brings the best out of Onana, and I think they both complement each other and they can both still play games for United. I'm not overly convinced that if De Gea wasn't in the net, he wouldn't have saved that, and obviously the Forest goal the other day as well.
I think, you know, when you're looking at the whole David De Gea thing, I think
I'm still not overly convinced with Onana. I think you are, aren't you? But I'm.
Yeah, Onana's proving himself. I mean, and it's going to be different games coming where he's going to be able to show different qualities. When you're trying to be the very, very best team, you're going to have to face the teams like City that hound your defenders and give you no way out. And you've seen the confidence the guy has with the ball. He'll walk the ball up to you and just pop it off. Well, he's a footballer.
I'm glad you mentioned City because they've had a perfect start to the season.
They have, and I don't think it's cut and dry. They're the favourites for everything. They're the favourites for everything. They won everything. They're the treble winners, undisputably. But Kevin De Bruyne is injured. They've lost Gündoğan, who was the absolute match winner.
You're a big fan, aren't you?
Trophy winner last year. Mahrez gone.
KDB.
So obviously
injured.
They've got Kovacic in. He's hit the ground running. And Phil Foden now is going to get his time to shine. I think Phil Foden and Haaland, Haaland's just hungry, but Phil Foden's hunger has to be
Ballon d'Or, Haaland.
Well, I mean, what do you think?
I think for Ballon d'Or, for me, I'm going to go, if I had to choose the top three, I'd probably go Messi, then probably Haaland, Mbappé. They're the three for me, but I think Messi, it's just something special.
Is it a clear winner?
I think when you win the treble, and I think he was the difference. I mean, I know probably in the finals, you had different players like Gündoğan popping up and scoring, and Rodri, these guys delivering, and Bernardo Silva. But I think with Messi, I think it's magical. He's won a World Cup. I know a lot of people talk about the penalties and whatnot, but for me in that final, I just thought it was absolutely sublime. 115 minutes in, and he was still sprinting, and I just thought, wow, this guy, will we ever see another player like him? So that's my Ballon d'Or 3. Is yours?
Yeah, no, I think I've got what I was saying beforehand is that the amount of goals he'd scored, if Haaland continues the impact he was having on games and they win the treble, then I think that could propel him into being the Ballon d'Or winner. But in reality, he went the last nine or so games where he didn't get a goal, and he was getting shots off, but other players were stepping up in the FA Cup final. Gündoğan, 2 goals. Kevin De Bruyne away at Madrid. Gündoğan was just popping up all over the place in the league as well, getting him over the line in games. So I don't feel like he was able to maintain his level. Now, listen, full credit to him, still one of the best players. He's had a fantastic season and has been a main part of the treble. But fundamentally, I think when the trophies were being handed out, he wasn't the strongest part, even in the final. He normally gets a goal. If he doesn't get a goal, he's not.
So how is that your?
I think Messi's World Cup. I don't think the opposition was as hard as it could have been. I think there were a lot of penalties, and generous penalties as well. Even in the opening game, I believe, I just thought very soft. So it seemed like it was favoured, but everything went through Messi, and Messi absolutely delivered. And he overcame the mind games, and a tough final as well to get through against France and Mbappe's hat trick. He still had 15 goals, 15 assists in a league title. Yeah. PSG is playing almost like in a subsidiary role to the likes of Mbappé, and even sometimes deferring to Neymar. But at Barcelona, you gave him the keys, and you got.
So you're saying Messi for Ballon d'Or? Then?
Yeah, but I'm just making the point.
Yeah, but we're in agreement about that.
I would also say though,
it's not for everybody. Some people might think Haaland.
I wouldn't have the top. Just the top 3. I've got a top 4.
For me, the Ballon d'Or is the best player right now. And even though of his age and all the rest, I think Messi is one of them players. Everybody'd have him in the team. I don't
think it's for the best player. I think it's for the best achievements, the best season. I think it's who played the best in that year. And I think Messi at Argentina.
Yeah, the best player in that year.
I think for Argentina and at Miami as well. Like, again, he's gone there. And I know that he's getting some generous free kicks out there, but, he's turning Miami into a Hollywood story. These 93rd minute free kicks and just like they hadn't won a game for about 4 or 5 months. He comes in there and they're winning every game. They've got trophies and stuff.
I just love him. I think he's a great player.
Again, it's been fun. I mean, for an individual, I know he's got Jordi Alba and Busquets in there, giving him some support. But the way they've been winning games, it's been
unbelievable.
He looks like Barcelona prime Messi. The way he's dribbling with the ball and just going. There's this goal action that I was watching where he's just walking. Then he starts running.
I've seen
Bam, puts it in. Yeah, because in the day, that was the kind of stuff he used to get from R9. Like in games where he just pick up the tempo. Henry.
So we know Messi's going to get the Ballon d'Or, but in terms of the of the Champions League, though,
I just want to say as well,
who's your favourites for the Champions League?
I also think Mbappé had a fantastic season, and so did Haaland and Gündoğan. Gündoğan would be in my quartet of contenders, but I think Messi is my clear winner in the Champions League this year. I think. Look, although City have got, like I said, they've got no Mahrez, they've got no Gündoğan, Kevin De Bruyne is injured. I just think they've obviously still reinvested. What about Cole Palmer? I don't know if I would have got rid of him. Scores in the Community Shield.
I think he's a good
scores
player.
In the Super Cup.
I rate him. I think he's a great player.
Homegrown. 50 million is a nice price, but ultimately
he looks like a really nice lad as well.
There's an opening there. There's an opening on that right-hand side, and he's delivered already. At a young age, you're happy to part with him. I mean,
but that just shows the strength of the coach. He's secure in his decisions and the squad that he's got. I mean, without Kevin De Bruyne, I think he's massive as well in terms of City this season. But going on to the Champions League, because obviously we have to talk about the Champions League.
Who are the other contenders then? I mean, I think City, Madrid, Munich with Harry Kane, Madrid, Jude. I mean,
Jude, wow.
A player. He's a problem.
What a player.
He's a problem. He's got another winner.
Yeah.
Was it a winner or just a 95th minute? I think it was just another. It might have been a goal on the end, or was it an absolute winner? But he scored a winner the other day. In fact, all he's doing is scoring winners.
This guy's a superstar. And he's the real deal.
He really is. Celebration's incredible. Right into the away fans. It's a bit of me, that. Absolute bit of me. Like, not interested. Like, bring the noise.
So Champions League, obviously Jude and Real are looking good. What about PSG? Are they still?
I just think you've got a coach like Ancelotti, and there's winning all the way through.
You know how I feel about Carlo.
Yeah, exactly. And then you've got Munich have now got the Harry Kane, and Harry Kane's not even talking about winning the league. He's only talking about winning the Champions League. I mean, you got a whole lot of nerve. You know what I mean? He ain't won nothing.
Do you know what though about Harry Kane?
Golden boots, but
do you know what? Now he's moved to Bayern Munich.
He could win it. It
was such a romantic story. The whole thing, seeing him in a Bayern Munich kit with his new boot. I've always loved Harry Kane, but because he played for Spurs, I couldn't give him the real love that he deserved. But now he's moved to Bayern. He's just a world-class superstar. And I think he could do something in the Champions League.
When I look at Harry Kane, first of all, for his career and for that kind of ranking, he does have to win things. But
I think he's going to end up at United.
I
really do.
Listen, fair play
for him. It's a
bit
of a tough story.
Going to Bayern. And if people say, well, it's an easy run because they're dominant in Germany, which it is.
Well,
but
we're going to see him against United, aren't we?
But although it is easy for Bayern Munich, to win the title, they wanted him to make it easy for them. You know what I mean? When you get called up to play for the big teams, that's not his fault. Of course,
they've done what City did with Haaland, haven't they?
So for me, fair play to him. But the fact that he's already focused on Champions League, and I just that is being a little bit cheeky. I think I've got to give him credit for that mentality going in there, and I do think they're a contender because they create chances, they're solid, and when they give him chances, he will score. But I look at him as a bit of a Shearer 9, Sheringham 10. The guy's got the full gambit of player, but he's got to add the trophies.
So if I won you over on Harry, then you won over with him, aren't you? He's
a top 5 striker in world football right now. But I think top of the pops is Haaland.
We're saying Real, City, Bayern Munich. They're your 3, are they? That stand out.
Well, I don't give Arsenal much of a shot because I think they've got too many holes.
What about Newcastle?
No chance.
Tonali.
Mate, I like Sancho, but listen, Newcastle ain't doing nothing. I mean, they're lucky if the manager stays. They need to get it together, big time. So yeah, I'm not.
Let's talk about the Italian teams. Any chances? Napoli.
I don't know. I mean, I like it. I like Inter Milan the way they've started. Like Lautaro Martinez, I know, bagged another brace. I think today. I mean, he scored. He's scoring for fun, man. You know what I mean? He's scoring every week. I know that Lautaro is money in the bank goal into winning. So I think they've grown from last year. I think I need to check, but they didn't get that naughty keeper in, did they? the one that was saving Jorginho's penalties.
Yeah, no, they did. They brought him in.
Is it Sommer?
Yeah.
Yeah, so they've not even
you fancy Inter.
They've lost Onana, and even though Onana was who Pep singled out as the most important player for Inter in the systems in the battle, it's Sommer who's come in there, cost us our World Cup spot. The Swiss keeper who's just absolutely ridiculous with penalties.
Obviously,
so they've not downgraded and they look fantastic. So I think Inter and AC started strong. They beat Milan the other day, Leao with an absolute worldie of a volley, and they've used the Tonali money really, really diligently. And the dynamic of their attack is better with Pulisic. Because he's more of a feeder. He'll feed you, Pulisic. Yeah. You've got Leao, who wants to do it on his own, will feed as well. And you've got Giroud. So I like that dynamic.
Loftus-Cheek is popping up with a couple of goals.
Loftus-Cheek, look, he's gonna excel. He just needs to keep tomorrow on the pitch a little bit. He's known to get a red card or two, or a couple of yellows. They need to shore up that, but they've started well as well. And I think both Milan teams have come out of this transfer window with credit. I think it was important for Inter to keep the likes of Barella.
I don't fancy him to go past the quarters though.
You're Inter.
Any Italian team.
I like Benfica at any stage if they go on a run and get to a semis, a final. Some players in there. I wouldn't be surprised with Benfica out of Portugal. Paris Saint-Germain, it remains to be seen. I mean, it remains to be seen. Once you've got Mbappé, you've got a chance. I'll say that much. If you can keep the opposition out, but
is Real flying the flag for Spain?
Yeah, I mean, look. You just wouldn't rule out Barcelona's caliber of players because it depends. As the draw goes on. Look, if they get deep into the game, they can rock you to sleep, can't they? And then score a goal. So I think Barcelona, definitely.
What about Italy? What about Mancini? I think we need to say a big thank you. Grazie Roberto per tutti. I think he was absolutely fantastic. I love Mancini, but I just think. The loss of Vialli, I think he's still probably not recovered from it. I know I haven't.
His mum did say
so. I think it's probably the right time for a change, to be fair. And
the thing is,
good luck to Spalletti.
When I look at Roberto Mancini, the 37-game undefeated run, which is an all-time international record.
He won as a trophy fellow. He won as the Euros.
And he won as the Euros.
In England.
I think fundamentally, though, when I look at Mancini, he came to Italy and he had a group of players that have not won any international trophies. None of them had won an international trophy. You had Verratti had won in Paris, and you had the Juventini who'd won the Scudetto a lot of times, and you had Bastoni and Borelli who'd won one Scudetto each. Everyone else were all losers. No one had won anything. And so their first trophy was the European Cup. And I think that there was down to his system, his style of play, and him getting the best out of players that hadn't. He pushed them to a level that they hadn't yet ascended to. So he's taken us forward. Now, what we saw with that style of play is, regardless of the players, because we were playing some great stuff with when Sensi was coming into the team. Players, and Pellegrini didn't play at the Euros. Zaniolo's had 2 cruciate ligament injuries. We've had Chiesa out. We've had Spinazzola out. He's had all this to contend with. Vialli goes. Now, for me, I believed in Mancini because he showed us. And if someone shows you what they are, you got to believe them. He showed us what he could do with his style of football and the way he was pushing and he was finding gems, Gnonto and Rettegay. Yeah. It's finding guys that are going to come out there and going to add value. But
he also had his relationships, didn't he, with players like Bonucci.
Well, what I was saying is, for me, did Ciro Immobile deserve one more chance against North Macedonia in the playoffs, where he gives him the armband? He goes, "I'm going to believe in you again. Here's the armband," and he couldn't get them over the line.
I've just never rated Immobile. I don't rate him as a striker. I know he scores goals, but I don't rate him for Italy.
He played his part in the Euros, but fundamentally he wasn't delivering enough to the team. And the fact is, Rettegay's come in there, delivered, and you've gone away from Rettegay and brought back Immobile. And I'm thinking, why is he back in the team? Didn't he? What you need to look past look at the fact that that the guy is not up to the requisite standard, and you have to hold him accountable. And it's like he's got too many relationships he's built too many relationships. He's not happy to break them relationships off because they've accrued the experience. And
well, we saw that with Lippi though, didn't we? When Lippi
couldn't let go
after he won the World Cup, he
had his favourites.
That's why we had a shocker in 2010. And
I agree. I absolutely agree.
It could be a main reason why we didn't qualify for